What is going on, and welcome to another episode of the Urban Pitch Podcast, the beautiful game of life, part of the Believe Network. I'm Ramsey Abushala, editor of urbanpitch.com. I'm in the studio with my the co-executive directors of Vibes. We got Julio and Bridget Flores. A little bit of cozy vibes today on the couch.
Yeah, cozy vibes.
We're switching up the set a little bit because we got our first Zoom guests in the new studio.
That's right.
We're excited for this one. Only illustrious guests on the show. Tonight we have the For the Culture podcast, aka FTCUTD. They do incredible stuff in all things soccer and soccer culture. We got our guys Devin and TK Edmondson. What's going on, y'all?
What's going on, guys? Happy to be here.
Thank you for joining
us. Likewise, it's happy to be here to collaborate and share our thoughts. And, it's nice to do these new ventures. So we're happy to be here.
Yeah, definitely. We're doing this podcast for the culture, so I can't get away without saying that joke. I have to do it. I'm sorry, guys.
He's still in the flow.
I'm so sorry, guys. I was itching since I knew you guys were coming, so we're doing this for the culture.
He had that planned out.
He's been waiting for that.
A whole week.
So I guess we could start things off just giving a quick background of For the Culture, how both of you guys got involved with the podcast, and just what y'all like to cover and everything like that.
Well, I guess I'll jump in.
TK.
Yeah, this is really kind of the brainchild of Grego, and I actually came along a year later. I was we're all mutual Atlanta United friends. Well, at least the most of us are Atlanta United supporters. So just kind of being local, I kind of like was slowly activating and seeing Grego on my radar, because it was like we all knew of another but didn't know each other. And Grego, Tony, and Rashad and Ringo kind of really spun it off from the get-go back in 2018 after our initial season at Atlanta United. And from that first season, they just knew me as the guy with the huge flag and the section next to them. That was just kind of like my role, just in like the community. But it took off. Grego invited me on, and then we just kind of never stopped after that. Ringo has since left, and Tony's got more demanding roles, along with Rashad as well. And Devin, joined with us about a year ago. So it's just been a slow development of just adding more people to the culture, getting more perspectives, expanding, because Devin's in DC. So just kind of like broadening the net and trying to expand our outreach and things like that.
Yeah, and both of you guys are new fathers too, right?
Yeah, I am.
Congratulations.
A little over a month. I think Devin's like 2 days behind me, basically.
Yeah, it was crazy. I think, literally, he had his daughter one day, and then mine came, I think, literally the day after or so.
Wow.
So yeah, the motto that I've been saying for the past 6 weeks or so, as I've just been operating on vibes and caffeine. So.
There we go.
Well, congratulations to the both of you.
Definitely. But now you can play the Atlanta United song. We ready.
Funny thing about that song is I played that in high school because I have a music degree. I've been a music nerd for forever, but we played that song in high school, so it was one of the things that translated to me for Atlanta United once the team got up and running and we started to develop our own chants. I was like, oh yeah, this feels right at home.
Today's episode is brought to you by Bet Online. Basketball is back, and Bet Online remains your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. You'll always find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at Bet Online. And as your continued source for all sports wagering information, Bet Online features live betting, free contests, and giveaways all season long. Always the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite sports and events, whether that's NFL, NBA, NHL, MMA, tennis, boxing, or even golf. Head to betonline.ag, that's betonline.ag, to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your rewards. Bet Online, where the game starts.
No, definitely. And you see a lot of the Atlanta artists going to the games as well. I saw Big Boy, even Kanye West made a guest appearance with the mask at one point. So yeah. So you get to see a lot of these Atlanta rappers going back. Monica, so
Waka Flocka was
Flocka. Yeah, so it's always great to see like bringing hip hop and football together. It always amazes me because growing up, I remember knowing that as an immigrant sport, nobody really in the culture knew about it, but the sons of immigrants.
Right. Yeah, it's very nice to see. It's relaxing to myself.
Of course, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, you mentioned you're a music nerd too. Julio actually sent me the episode where you were on the ones and twos for the podcast. That to me that was crazy. Like just to set a whole different vibe. How did that come about?
Well, I think Grega dubbed me that nickname at some point in time. But yeah, I've got a music degree in performance. I play saxophone, like jazz sax, for a long time, and I was in a reggae band for about 7 or 8 years.
Oh, wow.
Because I was gonna go get my master's degree in engineering, so I can work in a studio, like the formal. I could be Kanye's producer, whatever.
Right.
Well, he is looking for one right now. The guy just up.
Yeah. Looking for a little bit of everything.
Yeah. He might LinkedIn might be a great move right now.
Man, you show me one person who's got a job off of LinkedIn, and I want to shake their hand.
Here you go.
You got a job on LinkedIn? Yeah. That's crazy, man.
I got my last one.
Oh wow!
Hey, that's two of us. That's two of us.
They're proving you wrong, TK.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh my God. This is amazing.
Yeah, bro.
This was meant to be.
Yeah, bro.
I swear to God, it's like, I have a LinkedIn. I remember I went to an event like a couple weeks ago, and somebody asked for my LinkedIn. I was like, ooh, let me give you my Twitter.
You go on LinkedIn and you see like those crazy like business influencer type. There's like that one meme, right, where it's like I saw a guy on the side of the road, and it turns out he was the guy I was interviewing. That type of crazy like wild made up story.
Wait, is your dissing right now? Like we just said we got a job from LinkedIn.
No. What I'm saying is that's my
like
experience. That's
yeah,
right. It's like that did not happen, bro. Like you are not like that's crazy, but that's my LinkedIn experience. But I mean, shout out to you guys getting employed via LinkedIn, man. That's next level stuff.
You gotta add.
Yeah, no. It's all about what you know. It's all about who you know, not what
exactly.
you know. That's
there you go.
Y'all gotta connect, add each other.
You gotta connect with CEOs, not the regular people.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm joking.
It's true.
You gotta connect with them on LinkedIn. So when you actually meet them in person, like, hey, yeah, I know you. Like, hey,
I saw your post 2 days ago.
That's next level thinking right there. He's like,
there you go.
I got you.
Yeah, it's free game today. Free game
Galaxy
today.
Brain. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So I mean, obviously, I guess we can get into what there's this thing been going on in the last couple of weeks, the World Cup.
That thing?
Yeah,
right now?
Yeah, it's been going on. You might have heard. Yeah. But obviously that's been the dominating story of in the game so far the last few weeks. But I guess we could start with the U.S. men's national team because that was kind of a not contentious, but like there's a lot of debate going back and forth over what was going to happen, how far we were going to get. What are y'all's thoughts on the performance overall, on how we did, or how the U.S. did? I say we, but and
Ramsey was a sub.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm a fan. I mean, when it comes down to
Reyna already got in.
Right. So
take it away, Dev.
Yeah.
No, yeah, so we actually did an episode once the roster dropped, kind of evaluating everything. And then we actually just did an episode of about last week sometime, just kind of, reviewing everything the USA did as well. I guess, kind of starting from the beginning, the biggest issues, I guess we had some questions about the roster, of course. And, hindsight's always 2020. I remember a big a statement I said when the roster dropped. I think I would have preferred an out of form Jordan Peacock compared to an informed Jordan Morris,
Mhm.
and you can kind of see that. I don't want to say play the lottery or anything like that, but that need for that number 9 spot was really, really it was really needed. And we do have developed number 9s that we just didn't call up. So it was so you can see where it was needed, very much. And I guess the whole big controversy, I guess, surrounding the team is, of course, with Gio Reyna. Man played 50 minutes total of the World Cup, of World Cup soccer. So is my biggest thing was like, if he's injured, just go out and say that.
Right.
Like don't beat around the bush. Oh, he's gonna do this, he's gonna do this, all this. Like, no, don't worry, we're gonna play him, and then he doesn't play. Because he's clearly a game changer when he does play. I do think shoving him on in the second half against the Netherlands was definitely too little, too late for sure. And he never really was able to get into the game for sure, I would say. So overall, I think we did what we were expected to do. I won't say that our time in Qatar was a failure. I think we did what we were expected to do, and I think that was as far. I think that was what our ceiling was. Now, coming for next World Cup in 2026, when it's here in our turf, I think the expectation is going to be a little bit higher, and we'll see what happens then. But for this time, I think we showed what we can do, especially being out in 2018 to come back. And I think overall, like I said, I think we achieved our ceiling for sure.
Yeah, I would have taken a out of shape P-Fuck over Haji. I think Haji came in and did nothing.
Okay. So I'm glad you brought this up. So Julio gave me a look when you mentioned P-Fuck. And I think we
got in an argument about this.
A couple of we had an episode about the roster as well. We got into an argument. My big thing was, to me, it was crazy that Jordan Morris saw the field. I didn't think there was any chance. I thought they brought him on, as a dude who had experience, a guy that can just be that kind of presence in the locker room or whatever. But that was crazy to me when I saw he got time in. But my whole thing was, people were arguing over, guys like Ferreira.
Ferreira saw the field too.
But guys like Ferreira, P-Fuck, and Pepe, and like the striker position was like the big point of contention going in. And my argument was that, for a team that's built to play, to make it out of the group and make it to the round of 16, right? 4 games. The backup, second string, third string striker isn't like a huge. Of course, every player matters, but the percentage of the arguments that were going on was just way too high. But I thought Reyna was going to. I thought it was going to be Pulisic, Weah, and Reyna as the front 3, and maybe we would see Sargent, maybe we would see Haji Wright, maybe we'd even see Brendan Aronson up front. So to me, I didn't even think that Ferreira or Morris would even see the field, and so I was kind of surprised with that. But I definitely agree with what you said. That the ceiling was there. Was everybody? I don't think we disappointed anyone. Maybe there's certain things here and there that people might have wanted to see, but
I didn't think Shaq Moore was deserved to be in the roster. He went in he probably played 2 games. In both games, I think he said sorry 70 times every time he touched the ball. He was like, sorry.
This guy's always focused on the negative, bro.
How many bad balls can you
give
in half a game?
Go ahead.
And Zimmerman tried to give that through ball 30 times and never went in. So it was a long Saturday for me, as you can tell.
I resonate with that. I'm a little bit of a harsher critic on, I think, the players that I favor, even my team, Chelsea, and I think my viewpoint of football. I think that's just kind of who I am, actually, at my core, honestly. And I try to work through that with my communication styles, but I kind of have little tolerance for the U.S. in general. And I am American. I was born in Florida, but I spent a lot of time. I was raised in England, so I kind of root for the colonizers as well. But the point I guess I'm really trying to get to is it just frustrated the shit out of me with like Haji, and just like I was like really wanting to see Ferreira on the field. I feel like he could have been someone who, given time, could have been a bully to the back line, and then that gives our other guys, our wingers, some room to move, things like that. I'm not too big on US agent either, to be totally frank. But
clarify who that is for the people who might not know, because that's your name for a certain US men's national team player. Yeah,
absolutely, and it's indicative of his personality. And this is actually Grego dubbed this as well. So a lot of the great superlatives that we have do come from him. But I mean, it is totally befitting if you are anyone who has watched Captain America Marvel movies. you know that Captain America is not his personality, but and I think as a culture, thing, it's like I want to see different faces and not just one face as to represent the nation, because it don't look like me, first of all. So I'm just the cringe factor I can go on and on.
Yeah.
But from the tactical side, wanting to see the U.S. players succeed and have that success on the field, get to a place where they haven't been, or at least where we were not expecting them to land, and exceed expectations in that manner. I think we really could have done some different things with the lineup. Devin really called it with the PFOC thing. Jordan Morris, like, his time honestly was 2 years ago, but he got that horrible injury and that put him down. He should have had a transfer to Europe. I feel like we did a pod on that. And yeah, it would just really been nice if Sargent would have not gotten hurt. I think his hold-up play from the previous match was enough to get us across the line had he been able to play for the match against the Netherlands. Some things like that, and then obviously the Reina. I think he needed to start to feel confidence, to feel belief. I feel like he's one of those players that you have to, like, at Dortmund, it's like I feel like that's a club where the managers are always like very much channeling the players to like play to express themselves, and so he's serving up Holland, and I feel like people have kind of already forgot about that now that he's at City, and it's like, man, if we have that on the field, like, it's not just US agent who makes those passes to Weah to score those goals,
Right.
And I think we have an opportunity for more players to score goals that aren't even sexy. Just get the ball in the net.
Yeah, I also think Julio's still mad at Jordan Morris for torching LAFC.
Yeah, he did that to us. Hate that guy. But going back to like positive notes, you want me to be positive. Robinson, a stud.
Yeah.
Tyler Adams, that guy's my favorite player of all times at this point. The minute, because when I play, I get a little angry sometimes, and Tyler Adams brings that grittiness that I like, because they always say like we try to play nice. No, Tyler Adams is that guy. Won every ball, fought every ball, got in anybody's face. He didn't care if you were Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't know, we didn't play against him, but like he didn't care who you were. He was gonna go to your face. Musa, that guy, another guy that like, what a stud. And then I thought McKennie was not 100% in shape, but that, like, we've talked about this. I believe in that guy. As is not Pulisic is cool. He has a sexy name. Has that Chelsea behind him. But like, if McKennie is the main guy of the team,
and Pulisic isn't even that cute. Like, and he's like a basic representation of any white man that you see out here. And he's not even tall. So, and I'm gonna say,
shout out to my Caucasians.
We appreciate y'all, but it ain't it. Anyway, I will say though, TK, I resonated with what you were saying about the whole like U.S. thing, because I grew up very like not anti-American, but like anytime World Cup came around, I was Mexico all the way. Like I don't know who the US is. Like I'm not associated. This is the first World Cup where I've actually like paid attention to the US games and to the US team. And I think that I will give credit where credit's due. I think that overall as a team, they did great. I think that they met, like Devin said, like the expectations we had for them. They didn't surpass it, but they exceeded what we knew was going to be there, because they're such a young team, and they also they have the potential to be better for the next World Cup. But I did appreciate just like the leadership and the representation Tyler Adams had as captain and for like the U.S. as a nation. I think that especially in these times right now, like that says so much without even having to say it. Like just who he is as a person, like as a player, and just like his way of like his persona, I think meant a lot in many ways, and I appreciated that. And like those were the players that stood out that to me that I appreciated and like I looked up to, and I was like, all right, I fuck with them. Like I could get Tyler Adams jersey or a McKinney jersey, but
not U.S. agent.
No, but back to going back to this. I think we met the expectations that Greg put for us. It wasn't that we met the expectations of the U.S. I think we made the expectations of the roster that Greg put. First of all, I'm not a fan of Greg. I feel like you gave a Prius owner a Ferrari and he didn't know how to drive it. So we met the expectations of what Greg put for us. Like that guy, I just heard rumors of him coming back.
Yeah,
and it cringed me.
So he's in talks right now. They're talking about extending him. But first, let's get, because we've talked about Greg, Triple G on the show for a little bit.
Cool, though.
Hey, shoe game is strong.
Yeah, shoe game.
I
is
feel
strong.
like that's just him trying to put himself out there. Like, we're still not gonna.
But what are your all's thoughts on Berhalter and the job he's done since he's taken over with the USMNT?
First and foremost, the shoe game is A1. My thing is always, if you're very flashy up front, what are you trying to hide? You have something flashy because you're trying to distract somebody from something else for sure.
He's compensating for something, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Exactly. Do I hate Triple G? I don't hate Triple G. I think he's a young coach. You know what I'm saying? I think he still needs time. I don't think he did anything to lose his job, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I would definitely still kind of have that next up coach in the hunt, start training him. Do I give him a contract extension? Yeah, I do. And we'll see if he learns from his mistakes. He was clearly outcoached against the Netherlands, and Louis van Gaal even came out and said it, like, this man didn't change his tactics. So
he was explicit about that.
He said no, and he said they lost tactically. They didn't lose. Like, the players they had a great team. They just didn't make no tactical changes.
Yeah, exactly. So, you can clearly see the difference in experience from a coach like Van Gaal and a coach like Berhalter, right? You can see that difference there. So give the man some time, let them play in some more competitive matches outside of CONCACAF. I'm hearing that they're trying to throw the USA into the Copa America next year, I believe, or something sick. Like that. So, yeah, that's going to be great. That's going to be a great litmus test, I'll say, for not only us, but for him as a coach to expand and grow. So, yeah, he's a young coach. I think he still has a lot to learn. And, I'll give him this time I'll give him a chance and see what happens.
I don't think Julio agrees. But.
No, all right. So like it's just going back to the Bob Bradley LAFC thing. Like, Bob Bradley, I think he's an amazing soccer coach. I really like the way he coaches. But the minute you lose a team, and that was his problem with LAFC. So there was a lot of like going on with Gio Reyna. McBride came out and talked about how they were lying about him being injured. So like the media wouldn't make it a big deal. And I think those little points makes you lose a team. And once you lose a team, it's hard to get them back. Especially with all this talent, all this ego that we have around. I think that thank you for this World Cup, but have a great day, sir. It's like I think LA Galaxy is looking for a coach.
Yeah, I would echo that. For I think Berhalter, he got the job like in a kind of a scummy way
little nepotism.
His cousin or what?
Yeah.
Like let's just say they're not gonna hand that job to someone who looks like me or you, like on a nice platter, the way that happened. So there's some mob ties, if you want to say it like that or whatever. So like I kind of had a chip on my shoulder about him from Jump Street. B, he lacked the like the CV to like justify his hire.
Right. Yeah.
If we're gonna like take out the fact that his brother's in the federation. And so it's like, yeah, he's a young coach, and like he essentially he was able to mold this group and kind of create an ethos, and he did a lot of good things for this current squad of U.S. men's national team players. The thing is, there's the issue with Gio Reyna, and then I think that he's shown us that he's tactically like unequipped and to make adjustments to
Definitely.
win a game, to change a game in the sense of like when you go into, and that's it's really what it is when you a tournament, national team football, like it's high stakes. You have to be able to make that adjustment, and those adjustments have to be impactful. So I think that honestly, he was just out of his depth. And, like it was weird, the interaction I noticed when the 0-0 with Southgate and him on the sideline. I felt like Southgate was just like, what great job, man. You got those guys up to speed, man. That we couldn't score on you and you couldn't score on us, man. Just great match. And then I also noticed the way that he was consoling the players, but not how the players were reacting to him consoling them after they lost to the Netherlands. And it just didn't sit right with me. It was just like, I don't know if it's all there. Like if I feel like it was just a mere respect thing, and they're like, yeah, you're our manager, you're our coach. We're gonna, we're gonna ride this out. But I think I'm really of the thought process that you need to have a coach who knows what's going on, who has some international pedigree, who's won a trophy, just like get some, like I'd hire Tata, and to like see what happened, or even like Roberto Martinez. Like there's just been tons of names you can throw in the hat that would literally be an instant upgrade on Berhalter. But then the fact that it's just like, I don't think any coach should be there for more than 4 years, one cycle.
That's a good point. That's a great
I
point.
got a name that I want to throw out. It might kind of come out of left field, but I think he will be great for this team. He knows U.S. soccer. He knows the international game. Thierry Henry.
Ooh, interesting.
I had a buddy who gave that shout like a year ago.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think he'll be great. First of all, like most of these kids look up to this guy. He played MLS. He played in the top. He was a Ballon d'Or, I believe. Won a Champions League with Barcelona. So like, this guy knows the game, knows the international game, but knows the domestic game as well. So I think he will be great for this role. And you see what he did for Belgium. Like this guy was an assistant coach for almost, I think, 8 years.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be great for the team.
That's an interesting name to put out, because I think he might have struggled a little bit when he was with Montreal, but I'm typically against like hiring big names as coaches that don't have a lot of experience. Like you've seen it with Pirlo, Frank Lampard, all these guys have just like the dudes who struggle right away. But Henry is a guy who obviously commands a lot of respect because just of who he is. But back to what Devin was saying though. Like with Berhalter, Julio thinks I'm soft on Berhalter. He
Super
thinks I'm soft on him.
Hostess.
He thinks I'm like number one Berhalter fanboy, which is not true. For the record.
He follows the shoe page about Greg. Like, oh, look what shoes Greg wore today.
We got to stop giving him that shoe game, honestly. Man.
It's a
too much.
Take away his shoe game.
It's performative. It's performative.
Yeah, but no. But what I'm saying, what I wanted to say is, if you look at it like what he's done, if like you were to take like if you're Berhalter, right, and you're going in for like a performance review for your job, right. And they look at, what you've accomplished, what you need to improve on, things that you've done well, things that you haven't done as well. If you're Berhalter, like, I think you expect, like, look, man, I won a Gold Cup. I won Nations League. I got out of the group stage. I qualified for the World Cup, which, apparently
behind Canada,
which apparently is, something to an accomplishment, I guess.
But we did it at the last game.
Right.
I feel like we totally
with the roster.
No,
100%. No, I'm saying that like as like just something that you'd throw in there, you know what I mean? To like kind of to boost your. It shouldn't be like it should be a given, but it's not.
It's CONCACAF. You're not
Right?
playing
No,
Brazil.
okay.
You're not playing Argentina.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but
You're playing El Salvador. I love El Salvador.
if you're
we
Berhalter,
ain't that good. We ain't that good.
Here they go.
Yeah, I'm a Salvadorian, and like I get like it frustrates me.
But if you're
we
Berhalter
struggle against El
though,
Salvador.
and you have all that working for you on your resume, I think you expect to get a job renewal. And
you get a pizza party at the end of the day.
But I don't think that, you know, like what TK was saying, there are names that would be instant upgrades for Berhalter, but the way
Steve Nash,
the way U.S. soccer operates, the way I've seen U.S. soccer operate, I would not be surprised if he gets that extension. And I mean, when you look at it like at an almost objective level, like when it comes to like accomplishments, there hasn't been anything that he's like, oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you didn't do that. You know what I mean? Like it's just been like things that could take us to the next level, which I think is necessary, especially come 2026.
you shouldn't get praised for something you are expected to do.
Right.
So everything he did, he was expected to do. He didn't do anything.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, like and like you gotta qualify CONCACAF. You gotta be top 2 at all times. Like that's your expectations. You're not doing anything special.
But he did his job, though. This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I don't think that he should stay on. Also, for the fact that staying on for 8 years usually doesn't work out. We've seen it with in previous U.S. men's national team coaches, like Klinsmann. That second stint didn't work out. I mean, so.
But all right, I think Klinsmann gets a lot of like unmerited hate because all right. So reverse the roles. Greg got a Ferrari, and all he knew was a Prius. All he knew, Klinsmann, all he knew was a Ferrari. He got a Prius at the time. So like he got a lot of bad hate for no reason. That's how I feel.
Yeah, but we could go on for
we can go on for
like,
and then I'm gonna get passionate. I'm gonna get mad. So hey, what's the next topic?
On to the next.
On to the next.
On to the next. So I mean, believe it or not, the U.S. even though the U.S. is not in the tournament anymore, there's still World Cup soccer going on. We're in the semis. I believe by the time this comes out, we might be actually past that into the quarter we're in the quarters right now. We'll be into the semis by the time this comes out. But what overall thoughts on the current World Cup? There's obviously a lot of contention coming into it, with it being in Qatar. Them getting the whole bid in the first place was, had its own set of controversy. Like what was going on there? I mean, we've seen the FIFA documentary and all that, but in terms of how things played out since we got to get an on-field product, what are your overall thoughts on how things have rolled out?
Go ahead and take that one away, TK.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, and that's a perfect answer because it's been a type of World Cup.
No, honestly, in spite of the controversy, it's always a dark cloud. It's always going to be a dark cloud over this tournament, right? Based off of, like you just said, everything that's going on with it. So it's like you kind of feel bad for watching it. But at the same time, we're very soccer oriented people. So it's like we can't not watch it, and especially all the things with women's rights and gay rights and so on, etc. Especially me working for a women's team as well. It's kind of it's hard to to be very supportive of it, but at the same time, I've sat and watched the matches, I think, as just as much as I have any other World Cup, and to that point, we've had some spectacular football on the pitch for sure, from day one to to just yesterday or the day before, since there was no football, but going from the Inter Valencia brace from day one, I think that was such a powerful way to kick off the tournament, to the beating that Portugal just put on Switzerland. It's been drama from day one, and you're really starting to see the teams that have longevity in the tournament. You're really starting to see the teams that have that depth that'll get through. And I'm very excited for these quarterfinals. You can see the teams that you that were very disappointing to be out of it already. You have your Canadas, you have your Denmarks, you have your Spains, that your Germanys, these teams that I can't believe that aren't going further than they have. What have you guys been doing all this time? Denmark, from their success in the Euros to crashing out in the group stage.
Belgium too.
Canada is don't even get me started.
Oh man, that hurt me. I had high expectations from Canada. I thought they were going to do better than
Me
the U.S.
too. I thought they were gonna make it out.
Yeah.
I think the expectations for Canada were very high, especially once Alphonso Davies really got that goal. That first goal for them. I think it was you were expecting them to really take off and be competitive, and they just weren't. And it was very disappointing to see that. But I will say the team that I called from the very beginning, the team that I've been riding with since day one. And they just look like they haven't skipped a beat in spite of all their injuries. And you were really wondering, how well are they going to do despite all their injuries? And they honestly have not skipped a beat. And they're looking so good as France. You can't. They haven't skipped a single beat.
No.
With all their injuries, no Benzema, no Pogba, no Conte. And here's Mbappe with I think he's leading the Golden Boot right now.
Yep.
And both those goals the other day were spectacular golazos. They were amazing. I dare you to try to stop these goals. And they look amazing. Giroud breaking the record for Thierry Henry for the all-time leader. They're looking good. I was very worried about them at first, but now I think they're going to be there at the end.
Yeah. I think it comes down to Brazil, Argentina, whoever wins that game, go against France.
Yeah.
But Brazil is looking scary.
Yeah.
Scary. And they're dancing after every goal. And it's amazing.
Literally.
I think it's great for the World Cup. I did the chicken
Brazil,
dance.
Brazil is a team you can see that they have just crazy depth. They can throw any player into any position, and they're still going to perform highly. They have crazy depth, and if I had to make a pick today for the final, it would be Brazil and France.
Yep.
You guys heard it first. Put some money up. He's accepting all bets.
Hey, he's taking a cut though. He's taking a cut.
I'm taking 5%.
I could have sworn France would have been. They just won it recently, so I was just like, I don't know how much of energy they would have come in with, but they came in for it, and like they want to win it all, and they might. And I also said the same thing. I was like, I think at the end of it, it could be Brazil and France, and that'll be a great game. But at the same time, you never know with the World Cup. It's just crazy. Like Morocco, I didn't expect them to make this far.
They're beating Portugal.
You know what Morocco has with their coach that the U.S. doesn't have, which is back to what you were saying, Devin, is that I think that the coach has a relationship with the Morocco players and just the fans themselves that moves everybody to feel like, we're going to take it all and we're going to go hard, and people are underestimating us and we're going to show them who we are. And like, that's what they have done.
And they brought him on after the U.S. spanked them.
Yeah. And now it's like a home game for them because like the whole Middle East is supporting them right now.
Crazy. And please, keep that energy.
Yeah.
I will say, if Morocco and Spain went to penalties, I did say Morocco was going to win. Don't go play any numbers in the lottery that I give you. But I'm just saying, I did call that.
And that was great. Yeah, like Spain came in thinking they won already.
Just all vibes. Spain
and then
was all vibes.
What's his name again? Bono's
the keeper for
Morocco. This guy stopped 3 penalties. First of all, like, I'm not gonna say it was a rigged game, but they passed him the ball. All 3 penalties.
Oh man.
Yeah. Mentioning of a rigged game, I feel there's a little bit of that with the referees in this entire competition. There's been some
no fouls being called, and
some inconsistencies. But honestly, I just witness it when it happens, and I'm like, yep, there it is again. I'm not like statistically recording this down so that I can like go and bitch about it on a pod later, unfortunately. But there's definitely some funny business going on, I feel, in terms of just the way that that's kind of been all played out, rather. But yeah, it's up the Africa teams, man. Like, yeah, Morocco, they in any PK shootout, which we only had 2 now, but there's been a distinctive thing that happens is as soon as the keeper saves the second PK, that mental advantage just like becomes a whole entire mountain. It's like the other team caves, and literally that's what happened on both times. I'm not saying play a lot of numbers like Dev, but I'm just like there's something that I'm seeing consistently happen now where like I can't wait. But this whole World Cup, it's kind of been the World Cup of destiny. You've got the Last Dance whole storyline with CR7 and Messi, who both remain in the tournament. Yeah. Now you've got Pele on his deathbed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Brazil are just like looking like absolute like monstars, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how this really turns out, because then you got France who are like, yeah, we're gonna win this again.
Right.
With half our team gone.
Seriously.
So I mean, yeah, I think I had I had Belgium winning this tournament, like finally coming good. But now that that's like all done, I think it's got to be Brazil and France, even though I'd hate to see France get upset by England.
Oof.
But the thing is, nobody's really paying attention. At least I don't feel like people are talking about this.
I agree.
Is with France, like Mbappe's got 5 goals. Giroud is not the next person, but the third person. I think he's tied on 3, which is the list just goes on. But in terms of total goals for their country, Griezmann is like 10 goals behind Giroud. I think he's on like 42. So like people are
want to talk about a resurgence.
The team goes deep in terms of goal scoring. Like, and Mbappe is taking all the news and all the punditry right now, but they can score goals from anywhere, and that's a big thing. I think Richarlison is scoring all of Brazil's goals currently. Yeah. And we'll see if Neymar steps back in the fold. Right. Argentina is Argentina. Portugal is now functioning without CR7.
Yeah, they're playing better without him.
Yeah,
and I think
Ramos with the hat trick.
Wow, yeah,
coming in clutch.
But I feel like the Brazil side, it hasn't been as competitive as the other side. Like, yeah, you beat Japan, you beat South Korea. Like, no disrespect, I feel like great storyline that they made it to the next round. I don't think they had any chance playing against the teams. Japan did, penalties, but whatever. Like, the teams that were supposed to be here are now here. So I feel now the World Cup is the World Cup. It's going to get to these good games are going to happen. And going back to Belgium, I think Belgium like lost the World Cup the minute they wore those fire uniforms.
the Guy Fieri, bro.
I remember those shirts being sold in the Swami like in the early 2000s.
All right, conspiracy number 38.
It's the jerseys.
Yeah, we got right under refs.
The best ref has been a Salvadorian guy.
What's up?
The best ref has been a Salvadorian guy. I'm just writing the Salvadorian guy.
The countryman.
Right.
Yeah, but so going back to going to Belgium. So obviously, Denmark, Germany, Belgium. A lot of people had them at least advancing past the group. There's been a lot of talk. I mean, with the World Cup expanding to 48 teams in 26, there's been a lot of talk. I mean, Italy missed out this year because they lost to North Macedonia. Which, I mean, like, come on, like you can't say that UEFA needs more teams in. Like more berths into the World Cup when Italy's out here losing to North Macedonia, and I mean Colombia's not in it, Peru's not in it. Like in South America and Africa, it's grueling. Like it's a tough beat. But and then now you see with some of these quote unquote powerhouses, Belgium's fraudulent golden generation bowing out of a tournament again. What are you guys' thoughts on expanding the tournament now from 32 to 48?
It's a money grab.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So one of our affiliate podcasts under the umbrella, under the 2 Cent umbrella, is for freedom, Walk for Freedom, and Jermaine Scott is Dr. Jermaine Scott. He talked about a lot of the politics involved in the game, and this World Cup, FIFA made like $1 billion just off of Fox and Telemundo alone, and it's like crazy kind of money without even like doing anything, and then just duplicate that by however many nations or countries that they decided to reward viewership rights to, for so that we can all watch this magical tournament in the convenience of our home or wherever. And I was looking at the bracket, the way that it needs to work out for 2026. So I was initially thinking that it would be 5 teams in the same format of group stages,
right?
But now that it goes back to the statement that Arsene Wenger made. He says that this will never happen again, where you have a World Cup and the stadiums. There's 6 stadiums and it's like 13 miles apart. Like that's, from a fan supporter perspective, kind of a dream. You can go to, like, there's been so many reels where people are like, I've gone to every match, blah, 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 and they're making like great blog worthy content. But in the reality of it, I don't think it'll ever happen again.
Yeah.
Because like it's just so spread out now. So we've got 16 host cities for 26, and that's the way it's going to break down with the group stages. From what I've seen from the pre-FIFA brackets, it'll be 3 teams, 16 times 16. So then you could just
it's I mean, but FIFA is such an unimpeachable organization. Like you wouldn't think that they would do something like this,
They're looking like the NCAA right now.
It's about the money grab, because they were willing to let Qatar build stadiums and literally just have like a 60,000
a temporary stadium. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's all part of the global initiative to sustainability, all these keywords they want to throw out. But like, and I like the 974 shipping container stadium, just because I have like a aspiration to build a shipping container home in like a couple of years or so. That'd be a cool thing.
Those are
aren't they knocking that one down though? Like
it's a temporary.
It's like a temporary one.
But I think like at the end of the day, it's just going to be, like if you go to this huge money grab for the group stages, that's where they make all their money. And now they've got this spread between 16 cities in a couple different countries, and it's just going to be money for the viewership for America, Canada, and Mexico. So like that's so much money right there alone. Like they've got their bag, they've tripled it, and they're like, yeah, let's 48 teams, sounds great, let's do it again. it's like they're sipping from the same tea that Garber is, honestly.
Right. Yeah. Before we go, I know Julio, you have some questions that you're trying to ask these guys. Why don't you fire some off real quick?
All right. First question: best jersey of the World Cup?
The one that's jumping out to me, like if you just ask me that, and the first one that jumps out and pops in my head is the Black South Korea.
Yeah, the bus seat.
The charter bus jersey
seat joints.
That's amazing. I was thinking the South Korea one as well. I'm a long sleeve fan, and that was the first one that I was like, long sleeve.
Yeah.
Biggest surprise of the World Cup?
Japan on Croatia.
That was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
That's how I want the U.S. team to play. Brave, fearless.
Definitely.
If the U.S. played like Japan does, we'd be in the next round.
Japan is in a completely different league, though. Japan let us know before the World.
And they smacked us. They smacked us.
They smashed us.
Not even close.
When they ran circles around us, that they were the real deal. And I'm not surprised by them. I'm very surprised, not even just with Japan, but especially with Spain, are you guys even practicing penalty kicks? Like, is that a
Yeah.
thing with practice? Because that's been atrocious. You guys
Yep.
played 120 minutes of great football, but when it really came time to make it count, you guys completely crapped the bed.
Right.
So
There's been some terrible PKs that have been taken this World Cup.
penalties the entire time. Messi took a bad penalty.
Well,
Lewandowski was doing a
penalty?
Lewandowski was doing a TikTok
Yo,
dance out there.
Lewandowski,
Oh my
that
god,
was
that was
Jordan
terrible.
Jordan Ayew took one. It's like, all right.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, so clearly penalties are not being practiced at all. But to answer your question, the biggest surprise of the tournament so far, there's a lot going. There's a lot you could say. Just the disappointing teams that have crashed out: Denmark, Germany. That 30 seconds where Germany and Spain were both eliminated. There's been a lot of drama, but I mean, honestly, right now, if I had to just pick one, it'd have to be Morocco getting as far as they have, being the only African team to get as far as they have. I think that speaks a lot for the Confederation.
Right.
To beat a powerhouse like Spain as well. I'm very surprised, and I don't think anybody had them getting this far. And I mean, sky's the limit. They're playing with house money at this point, so go crazy.
All right. Who's gonna win the whole World Cup? One name, not a lot of thought in it. First thing that comes to your mind.
Throw it out there.
Throw it out there.
Brazil.
Yeah, I think the Pele factor was too strong for me at this point. And those guys are not only playing with the wealth of filthy skill that they have on the field and the bench, but now they're playing with the emotional aspect of it, where this means something like it did for Suarez when he did the handball, in 2010. Like it meant for Maradona. Like, I'm willing to cheat just to sacrifice to get to the next. And I wouldn't put it past them if they go against Argentina, which probably would be the matchup. I wouldn't put it past them. They're like, derail Messi's dreams. Who cares? Like, this is for Pele. We got the whole, and Brazil comes with such expectations every international tournament anyway. I think this is the full circle.
All right. One thing that football is for the culture.
Identity. If I had to say one word, that's, people give their entire lives to this game, put their blood, sweat, and tears into this sport. I mean, I know I certainly do. I know I've made some of the greatest friendships, relationships, people that I can call family is through this sport. When I discovered this sport, almost 20 years ago now. As we were talking about Thierry Henry, just a little bit about me. That's how I discovered the game. I had a friend who used to play FIFA in high school. He used to smack me with Thierry Henry in Arsenal, and I had no idea who they were. And then we started watching the games, and I fell in love with the sport. And I've truly cultivated great friendships, brotherhoods, sisterhoods, people I can truly call family into the sport. And I know I spend my everyday trying to make this world a better place through this sport for sure. So
that was deep. I love that.
Same question.
I want to say maybe like integration. For me, I fell out of love with the sport and back in love, and it was nice to see when I fell back in love. It was because I saw a team full of black players balling, and that was just Didier Drogba and Chelsea and Nicolas Anelka, Solomon Kalou, and like Essien, like a lot of the Ramirez, a lot of the players that people don't really talk about nowadays. But for me, that was like the second honest of the beautiful game. And now to see that at a clear presence at almost every national team, they're integrating where everyone doesn't look the same.
Yeah.
And I'm all about the swirl baby. So
this is a personal question. Better rap scene, DMV or Atlanta?
Atlanta. I can't even front on that.
Yeah.
No, they had the early 2000s unlocked, so yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, who do we have? Wale? I mean, shoot, that's the only person I can think of around here. But Atlanta has literal legends in the game. So, yeah, nah, not even going to try to fight that one.
All right, last one. Is one Tweezy still off the Heezy? Is it Jermaine Dupri line? Welcome to Atlanta.
Sheesh.
All right, Joe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Haven't been there. All right, go.
We're out of time, but we really appreciate y'all both for coming on. We're big fans of For the Culture and the whole 2 Cents umbrella, really. Everything y'all do, we'll be tapped in. We'll be keeping tabs on that. But Devin Pugh, TK Edmondson, thank you so much for joining the show. For Julio Monterosa, Bridget Flores, I'm Ramsey Abushala. This has been the Urban Pitch Podcast, The Beautiful Game of Life, part of the Believe Network. We'll drop all the 2 Cents, For the Culture podcast links, the social media links in the show notes and the description. So y'all make sure to follow them, subscribe to their podcast, do all that. Appreciate y'all for tapping in with us. We'll be back with more episodes next week. But until then, we'll catch y'all later.